It's better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt, which essentially means that sometimes it's wiser to just stay quiet, rather than speaking up if you're unsure and potentially saying something foolish, like this guy.
Lori, you said that you dated NBA players / rappers?
Yeah.
Celtics?
Huh?
Celtics? Lakers?
You mean Celtics?
I don't.
Yeah. It's Celtics.
Did I say that shit wrong?
Yeah.
God damn, that's embarrassing. L in the chat for Brian.
Celtics.
That's what they're called, right?
It's Celtics.
So,
Boston Celtics.
damn, that's rough.
What makes this pretty bad is the fact that the girls knew how to pronounce it, but not him. And you can tell he was embarrassed by that. That was pretty painful to watch, but he does go on to kinda make up for it, I guess, by mentioning the SuperSonics, a team that hasn't been a part of the NBA for almost 17 years now, making the girls look stupid this time.
Team that they were
SuperSonics?
on? No, neither of those teams.
SuperSonics?
Is that even a real team?
That's a team, isn't it?
No.
That's not a team?
SuperSonics?
Is that on a team?
I'm like
Can you scoot into the table a
90%
little
sure
bit?
it's not a team.
The SuperSonics? Am I?
No, I'm like,
SuperSonics?
I'd be
I think
surprised.
that's like a
if it
TV
was.
show or something.
Sounds like.
We're an American professional basketball team based in Seattle.
Now, to be fair, there technically are two ways to say this word, but it still exposes his lack of NBA knowledge, as the Boston Celtics are one of the most famous franchises in all of sports. Another moment that made me facepalm is when Anthony Edwards admitted that he didn't know who Alex Rodriguez was.
Do you have any thoughts about him? Are you an A-Rod fan at all growing up or anything like that? What do you think about what he might bring to the team?
A fan? What you mean, like, who is he?
The baseball player, Alex Rodriguez?
Yeah, nah, I don't know who that is.
Okay.
I know he's gonna be the owner, but I don't know nothing about baseball.
Now, in Edwards' defense, he was born in 2001, but that still didn't stop people from cooking him.
Brandon Coates, he said that Edwards not knowing who A-Rod is was an indictment on baseball. The lack of popularity among younger people and that type of thing. Your thoughts?
Totally disagree. I think it's an indictment of Edwards that you don't know if it didn't happen yesterday. And he admitted he's not a baseball fan, which is fine, but A-Rod is bigger than just baseball. It just didn't sound like this is a guy who's into pop culture, because A-Rod is in pop culture because of J-Lo. And I'm surprised that he wouldn't, even if you don't know him as a baseball player. These guys are young, I get it. A-Rod hasn't played for a while, but still, I think that's an indictment of Edwards.
Obviously, Anthony Edwards didn't mean any disrespect, but Lonzo Ball, on the other hand, purposely went out of his way to disrespect Nas.
That's the goal for the next 2 months while we do this.
What?
We're gonna get zealous and some real hip-hop.
That's not gonna happen. Y'all outdated, man. Don't nobody listen to Nas no more.
Face up, lean forward a little bit.
Only smaller.
Yeah, give me a big smile.
Real hip hop is Migos, Future. Hey. Yeah.
We all live in an interview space.
As you just heard, Lonzo referred to Migos and Future as real hip-hop, even going as far as calling Nas outdated. And as expected, he received a lot of backlash for those comments, with Lil B contemplating whether he should place a curse on him, like he did to Kevin Durant and James Harden, something that Joe Budden was all for.
So Lil B shouldn't waste his time cursing him then?
Nah, curse might be legit
A
now.
curse might need to happen for the base guard. When I saw the base guard make that fucking public service announcement, you know what I said to myself? I said, yes, base guard, perfect. This is the perfect solution to this just talking stupid. Curse that.
Which might be able to explain the misfortune he's experienced throughout his career. Fast forward a couple months later, Lonzo was seen walking into Madison Square Garden with a hoodie that had his face superimposed on a Nas album cover, and many saw that as disrespectful. But it looks like Nas got the last laugh that night, as his New York Knicks beat the Lakers in overtime. Then, just 2 days later, the Lakers visited Cleveland and this happened.
During the pregame warm-ups at the Q, the staff played almost exclusively Nas songs during the warm-ups. Clearly a hat tip towards the Nas slander that Lonzo Ball has both spoken and put on his sweatshirt.
His personal taste in music is one thing, but to say that Nas is not real hip-hop is crazy, which he seems to double down on 2 years later.
What did you say about Nas that time?
I don't know that his music.
I got
what
no
did you
problem
say?
with like people misunderstood
like,
that. I have
what'd
no
you say?
problem with him. I think he's good. You know, he's obviously a legend, but I just don't think his music is like that. That's just my opinion.
So you just felt, so you didn't rock with Nas the way that we rock with Nas. Is it different timing?
I think like his music back then was like that, but like if I listen to it now, it's just like I'm not playing it. You know, and none of my friends are playing it, so it's like
You and your friends are whack.
The way the hip-hop community is protective of their GOATs is the same way Mark Cuban is protective of his Dallas Mavericks. You better watch what you say about them. On an episode of Shark Tank that aired back in 2022, Trey and Donovan Brown were looking for someone to invest in their car air fresheners, but things got off to a bumpy start when they just had to take a little jab at Mark.
Even your favorite basketball teams. This one smells like winning. Sorry, Mark.
You could tell that Mark didn't really appreciate that. It's kinda hard to see, but that was actually a Golden State Warriors air freshener that he was holding while he made that joke, which obviously wasn't gonna be well received given the painful memories Mark Cuban has of that team, on top of the fact that the Mavericks had just lost to the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals a few months prior to that episode, which Cuban goes on to explain.
Mark, are you okay? You're kind of still over there.
Ooh, you know what's...
Dumbest
you know
marketing
what's-
move ever. I'm out.
What?
That's it?
Seriously. That's
Seriously.
mean.
You got to read the room. Wrong move, wrong time. What are you upset about?
Yeah, why?
What do you think? The one air freshener from the NBA is the team that beats us in the NBA Conference Finals. Got to know that could
Mark,
backfire.
you're a bigger man than that. Cut it
Yeah, I
out.
could be, but I'm not.
Wow.
It was supposed to be a lighthearted joke, but I guess it didn't come across that way, as Cuban was immediately out.
We thought it would be clever to kind of throw a little joke in there and use the units that we had, one of which was the Warriors. And then the samples that Mark Cuban had were ironically the Warriors as well. So he holds it up as the joke is being made. And he did not like the joke at all. But I'm pretty sure if they could judge the quickest time that Mark Cuban was ever out on a business, it would be this.
Now, if you think things would have gone differently had it been a Mavericks air freshener instead, well, you're wrong. Because even when somebody keeps that in mind, it doesn't seem to butter him up anyways.
So I actually have a few watches for each of you guys to have.
Thank you
There
very
go.
much.
Here's yours.
No, thanks. Go ahead. You keep it.
It's Dallas Mavericks blue, just for
That's
you.
okay. You keep it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mark, are you allergic to positive, negative ion stuff?
No, I'm allergic to scams.
Here we have an example of Shaq not being able to keep his opinions to himself, and apparently doesn't know that there's a time and place for everything. Shaq is one of those people who felt that SGA deserved the 2024 MVP award more than Nikola Jokic did, but picked an awfully odd time to announce that, while he and the TNT crew were interviewing Jokic after he was named the MVP, saying it right to his face on live television.
Joker, as the president of the Big Man Alliance, you are the vice president of the Big Man Alliance. You know I love you, the best player in the league. I want to congratulate you, but I want you to hear from me first. I thought that SGA should have been the MVP. That's no disrespect to you, but congratulations.
It's funny how Shaq said no disrespect, but then goes on to do exactly that, disrespect him. Now, he had every right to give his opinion, but I think it should have been done at a different time, as Nikola's teammates were probably watching that interview, just like they were when the news was announced.
From the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic. Excited.
Shaq went on to say that the reason he said that to his face was because he didn't want people twisting his words, which is weird because there wouldn't have been anything to twist anyways. What exactly is there to take out of context? We understood what he said. It's just that it was extremely inappropriate to tell that to someone who was expecting to get a congratulations. Maybe some of you like the fact that he didn't say it behind his back, but at the same time, he could have avoided creating such an awkward moment, which he has a history of doing far too often.
Part of this is Shaq. I said tonight that you are one of my favorite players, but you don't have what it takes to get to the next level. I said it on purpose. I wanted you to hear it. What do you have to say about that?
All right. That's it.
That's it?
All right, that's it.
Okay, cool.